Jesus' triumphal entry was prophesied in the Old Testament. Have you ever watched someone call their shot and then deliver exactly what they said they would? That's what God did with Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem. Long before it happened, the prophet Zechariah wrote, "Behold, your king comes to you, righteous and victorious, lowly and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey." That's Zechariah 9:9. And hundreds of years later, Jesus fulfilled it, down to the smallest detail. In Matthew 21, as Jesus approached Jerusalem, he sent 2 disciples to find a donkey and a colt. He told them where to go, what they would find, and even what to say if anyone questioned them. Everything had already been prepared. Why? Because God doesn't wing it. He plans. He sees the end from the beginning. Jesus riding into Jerusalem on a donkey wasn't just a humble act, it was a declaration. The King is here. In John 12, we read about the crowds. They took palm branches, shouted, "Hosanna," and laid down their cloaks. Palms represented righteousness and triumph. Cloaks were a sign of honor and submission, just like in 2 Kings 9, when the people honored Jehu as king. But while the people were celebrating, their expectations were divided. Some hoped Jesus would be a political ruler, a conqueror who would overthrow Rome. Others believed he was the promised Messiah who would teach them God's ways and reconcile them to the Father. Jesus knew what awaited him in Jerusalem: a corrupt trial, betrayal, suffering, and the cross. And still, he went. He had the courage to walk the path that the Father had laid out for him, not because it was easy, but because it was right. He said, "Not my will, but yours be done." The disciples didn't fully understand at the time. John tells us they only realized later that they had been living out prophecy. Everything had been written. Everything had been planned. That's a key lesson for us today. God plans with perfect knowledge of the past, present, and future. He called his shot 500 years before it happened, and then fulfilled it through Jesus. God provides everything needed to carry out his will. From a donkey and a crowd to strength in the face of death, his provision never falls short. And God's politics are not like ours. He doesn't ride the wave of human opinion. His kingdom is not of this world. Job said, "I know that you can do everything, and no purpose of yours can be withheld from you." Paul reminds us, "God is able to make all grace abound toward you,